Back everyone, welcome back to another edition here of the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, week number 89, your weekly dose, or your monthly dose of Korean StarCraft League action. Of course, as live VIP, with me I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. Welcome, one more. We are back. We have returned here with our monthly dose of KSL, exclamation mark, be in the chat to have a look back yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, and we are jumping into the round of 8. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of At Attorney's Edge, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Blue Protoss player, the Blue Protoss himself. We have the South Korean Protoss representing among us the two people. It is ReBellioN. So let us go through in the chat. You know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we are once again jumping into, we're once again jumping into TLMC maps, but for the first time we have the TLMC edition of Korean StarCraft League of KSL. So we're going to be featuring a map pool here of TLMC maps. We're going to be featuring At Attorney's Edge, Blackrock, Defender's Lab, Lockdown, Lumen, Rainfall, Rorschach, Sanctuary 3, and Washouts, I believe. Yeah, and Washouts. So we have our maps. We have our maps here, and we're jumping into our first game. Of course, before we get into it, and before we get too ahead of ourselves here, HonMonO is an animal. He's a hyper-aggressive player. We expect all-ins. We expect all-in after all-in after all-in from the side of HonMonO, especially in TvP. We'll see if ReBellioN can keep up. We'll see if HonMonO comes up with something special in some of these other maps. When it comes to this map itself, there are some interesting quirks. Of course, we have the gold base here on the left-hand side. We do have the hybrid gas bases as well here in the center of the map. We do have our regular natural base. We have our triangular third, which is closer to your opponents, and the Russia supply ground can be shortened quite heavily by expanding towards your opponent as well. But we'll see. We'll see how our players do decide to open up. So for now, we throw down the spray of cheese. Again, we expect all ins. Racks into factory, double gas opener, but does HonMonO even expand? Nope. Second racks, one base all in. As I mentioned, HonMonO is hyper cheesy, hyper aggressive, and we expect an all-in every single game. Whether it's a one-base all-in or two-base all-in, hard to say. But regardless, there's going to be a bunch of all-ins. There we go. We have the second rack, so it's going to be a 3-1 setup here from HonMonO, massing up as much of an army as he can, and most likely pulling the boys. Meanwhile, what I will say at this point for HonMonO, unfortunately, he has a reputation, right? At this point, he's been competing at this level for quite some time, so everyone knows how he plays, and as a result of that, ReBellioN, I'm sure, is fully aware as well. So we should be seeing some blind, safe play at ReBellioN. On the one hand, yes, ReBellioN doesn't know what's going on. On the other hand, he does know that he's playing against HonMonO. So a safety battery here at ReBellioN, going for the earlier Twilight Council on the low ground, so it's going to be Twilight Council opener. Not the safest build we could have gone for. Robo would have been hyper safe, but here it's going to be Twilight Council into our initial upgrade. We need extra gateways. I'm going to be concerned if ReBellioN goes for a greedier build and cuts corners and cuts gateways. For now, tank production. Tanks are underway, going Mass Marine. It's going to be a 4-rack setup, no stim. Remember, there's no stim, no combat shields, no upgrades. The real firepower here in this army comes in the form of the tank. So we're going to have a couple of tanks, and that's going to be the backbone of the army, and that's why most likely we pull the boys to buffer for the tank and even repair the tank as well to keep it going. Meanwhile, Blink. Ooh, Blink not charged. Okay, so Blink is the tech of choice. Here comes the second gateway, and hoping we see additional gateways as ReBellioN, he's so far just staying on his side of the map, and HonMonO, he will soon pull the trigger. He will soon commit. ReBellioN, he will fight for map control, he will catch out the Reaper, he'll take over control of the Zalnaga tower, so good moment here for ReBellioN. He will have extra seconds here to react and respond. Here comes the all-in, here comes HonMonO's. Ooh, looks like he's actually trying to set up to catch any stalkers pushing up the ramp. Stalkers are staying at the Zalnaga tower. They're staying at the tower, HonMonO hoping to get some free shots off. Cheeky moves out of HonMonO. So far we have 2, soon to be 3 tanks. And I feel like we're pushing with 3. Like usually like 3 tanks, that's kind of like the sweet spot. Oh, the army gets spotted. Now ReBellioN knows 100%. Now ReBellioN, he sees how large the army is. He knows 100% that Nolan is coming his way. And behind this, second battery. Second battery is being thrown down. We have 2 more gates, so we have a 4-gate setup in total. HonMonO starts to push, but he tries to rotate, tries to avoid the Zalnaga tower. He gets spotted. Ooh, does he get one? He does. One stalker goes down. Big misstep there from ReBellioN. and HonMonO is pushing. HonMonO is pushing. ReBellioN is racing back home. The boys are being pulled. Here come the boys. And ReBellioN here, once again will lose another stalker. Oh god, these are rough losses. Heavy losses here. ReBellioN doesn't seem like a lot, but this early on, you don't really have many stalkers to begin with. To lose 2 stalkers already is huge. Now we kite back. Yeah, kites back, nibbles away at the army. The battery does keep the stalker alive. Blink is now done. Can we get on top of the tanks? No, the tank siege. Oh my god. Yeah, tanks lose siege. We're blinking on forward. Marines will punish. We do get 1 tank, but so many stalkers go down. The tank survives. And that's going to be game. That's going to be game. HonMonO is breaking on through. He has 3 tanks up and running. He repairs to top up that tank as well. And that is our Tosis pylon. That is our Tosis pylon powering everything so far. The Twilight Council goes down. Tank pushes forward. We blink into the tank line. And he'll lose everything. Yeah, massive losses here for ReBellioN, losing every single stalker. 2 stalkers barely survive. He takes down 2 tanks, but there's still 1 tank left, and that final pylon does go down. Yeah, the batteries are depowered. HonMonO is pushing in. There are 3 gateways in the main. The boys are being pulled. The boys, pappy. Oh my god. Another stalker goes down. We're down to 3 stalkers. Warping in 1 more, but GG. HonMonO, he pulls off the all-in, and HonMonO will take game number 1. Whew. GG. HonMonO does take a lead in the series again. 1 base all in here by HonMonO, and ReBellioN, he did struggle when it comes to slowing down the push. Both times he tried to engage with the army in the center of the map, he lost a stalker. Both times he pushed up a ramp trying to engage as well. So just really rough movement, really rough control there by ReBellioN, losing stalkers ahead of time, weakening his own defense, of course, and then eventually snowballing out of control. GG, well played with that. Congratulations, HonMonO does take a lead in the series. Now we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Where are we dropping? Where are we dropping? When it comes to ReBellion's build itself, it was an okay build of choice. A safer build to go for would have been early charge, or going into instead early robo. For mortar production, one or the other, both are safer. Of course, at the time, ReBellioN wasn't 100% certain it was going to be a 1 base all-in. Bearing in mind that HonMonO, he does like to mix in 1 base all-ins and 2 base all-ins, right? Like he can get a natural, he can get a second base up and running. That can come into play here, so you can't just blindly assume he's 1 base all-in. Took a while here for, of course, ReBellioN to scout and confirm. Let's go. We're jumping to game 2. Going to be jumping into Rainfall. This is another aggressive map, by the way. Shorter rush distance by grounds. Very abusable locations in between the bases. Aggression and all ends, I would say, are even more favored on this map. And ReBellioN, we gotta play it safe, Pat. We gotta be safe. Let's go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Rainfall, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Among Us 2 people. It is ReBellioN. Here we go. So ReBellioN does move out across the map. Behind this again, we do have our natural base here on Rainfall. We do have our triangular third and our linear third base as well. Again, a very short rush distance by ground. ReBellioN is already across the map. Now, when it comes to the areas that are usable here, I would say this location right here, in between all the bases, in between the third, the fourth base, and the natural. This high ground location is very accessible. There's no like point of elevation or rocks or choke points or anything leading up to this, so if the aggressing player can set up here, then they can wedge themselves in between all your bases. And then if your army's stuck on the third base, for example, if you're trying to defend your third, then you're stuck on the low ground, so you have that high ground advantage as well against any kind of transferring or rotating army from the third or from the natural. And of course, from the third or from the fourth. And the natural base, of course, is very accessible as well, as there's no high ground advantage or anything of that nature. So in general, just pushes are a little more potent here on Rainfall. They can be a little more aggressive, a little more potential. This time HonMonO does open single gas opener. HonMonO is actually going for the expand. We mentioned this earlier, that HonMonO, he does mix in 1 base all-ins and 2 base all-ins, and this time it's looking like a 2 base all-in. I'm getting ahead of myself. He's expanding. There's going to be a CC. There should be. Yeah, we have the money for it. We're about to have the resources. There we go, 400 minerals. CC on the high ground. HonMonO this time is expanding, but just because he's expanding does not mean he's going to macro. So natural base is on the way. Back at home, we can see ReBellioN setting up on the low ground. Standard opener so far out of ReBellioN. And likewise, ReBellioN, he did scout the lack of gas. Yeah. Or actually, sorry, that was an earlier scout. Never mind. So still trying to piece together what's going on. Ooh, and you see what I see? I see a second Rax. That's a very early second Rax here from HonMonO and into his own factory. This does scream 2-base all in, by the way. So hyper aggressive. Basically, would be delaying the starport. Big delay in the starport, prioritization of additional production buildings to amass up an army as quickly as possible. This might hit, because we're expanding, this might even hit with stim. Like we might go for add-ons into tech labs, into stim, into upgrades to hit the timing. As ReBellioN once again is poking in, trying to confirm what the hell is going on. Oh, does count, does confirm. Does see everything actually. Ooh, so he confirms the CC and he confirms the second Rax and the factory as well. Big scout there for ReBellioN. Now he knows. Like, now he knows, of course, the economic start, but he's also aware of the aggressive follow-up. As we're getting into a 2-1-1. So 2-on-1 sim timing. This is a more common build against Zerg players. This is a rarer build against Protoss. Not unheard of, but still rarer nonetheless. This sim timing does hit quite hard. It usually hits around 5 minutes, I want to say. Around the 5-minute mark. So we'll see how HonMonO gets across the map. That Discord out. Quickly checking ReBellion's vision. ReBellioN, he does scout the starport, so now he knows it's a 2-on-1. He knows it's not like a 3-1 or a 4-1 or anything like that. I do think the blink should be fine here. Remember, this hits later. Yep, there's the add-on swap into medevacs. So you get into that 16 marine and double medevac drop. It's coming. So now ReBellioN poking out. As he moves out, HonMonO, he's coming from behind. Oh no, he spots the army! He's coming in from behind, and we'll see if ReBellioN can get out of here. Oh. We'll see how he can blink away. He does. Does juke. Does juke away here. He does blink. Picking up 2 SCVs, and he forces stim, right? He forces stim. He's distracting the army. He's delaying HonMonO's timing. So nice move to see by ReBellioN. He will lose 1 stalker. Does he get a medevac? No. Doesn't quite get the medevac, but does blink away. And so far, this is worth it. So far, the timing that HonMonO was trying to hit has been missed. He's missing his timing. As time goes on, we have extra warp-ins. Third base is now on the way, and ReBellioN, he turns around. Yeah, he turns around. He goes back home. He has missed his window. And he's getting a 3rd CC. Okay. So a very aggressive follow-up here. The timing was missed, and now we're going for a 3rd CC and a 2nd factory already. Okay, interesting. Very fast 2nd factory. Curious as to where HonMonO is taking us here. Are we going to be hyper turtly? So when it comes to HonMonO's style, I was emphasizing a lot about all-ins and hyper aggressive builds. When he does macro in TvP, he goes pure marine tank. Straight up, like pure marine tank, and no marauders, no ghosts until he maxes out. We have Vikings on the way as well, of course, but I don't think this is the best map here to attempt to turtle up, but I feel like that's the goal, is to get into a fast tech lab into double tank production. HonMonO, he's a player of extremes. Player of extremes. I'm curious to see if that's for the 2nd tech lab. Medevacs, they move out. He's add-on swapping, but it looks like he's waiting for combat shields. Yeah. So he's waiting for combat shields. Yo, where are we going? There we go. So he's going into double tank production. That's going to be a heavy tank count very early on. Building his tanks, getting his armory, working on 2-2. Double drop does get across the map. Will distract ReBellioN. Does distract. So when it turns back around, again, just building up his tank counts. I believe the goal here is to turtle up, like just to turtle up until he maxes. And you can see our sensor towers are on the way, missile darts are on the way as well. So we're seeing the two extremes here of HonMonO. The two extremes. One base all in game one, and then failed aggression here in game two, forced into more like turtle heavy play. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe HonMonO will stay at home until he maxes. Oh. We'll see. Ooh, massive storms. Gee, oh my god. Yes, storms, they do soften up the army quite heavily, and ReBellioN is going in here now. I do like this. There is a window, there's a timing he can hit before we get out of hand. Can he break that siege line? He commits. Oh my god, storm on the tank with the friendly fire. Yeah, so many zealots go down. Only gets one tank. That was not worth it. Not worth it for ReBellioN. He lost so much, and he only achieved one tank kill. HonMonO holds. HonMonO is holding. At this point, ReBellion's lost too much. He was so clumped up. I have less faith in this push. He's going to get two tanks. Yeah, two tanks going to be going down. Swarm zoning. Storm does zone away. Doom drop across the map, and I storm drop into the mineral line. They reaction. Taking 6 SCV kills. Oh no, with the Prism. Yeah, Prism goes down. Do we have a recall? Not quite. Yeah, the Prism will fall. Archon should fall as well. HonMonO gets across the map. ReBellioN lets you react. Oh my god, a massive storm. he just tanks the storm to the face. Insane storm. Likewise, 16 SCV kills to the Archon and the Storm. We're getting messy. We're getting very, very messy here. Initially, I was favoring HonMonO for defending, but after losing a mineral line, now HonMonO, he's looking a little bit worse for wear. He's still building up his tank counts, being active with his bio army at least. So I appreciate that he's being active. Going for Marine counterattacks. Only with the Marines. He's keeping his tanks back at home. Nice target firing, getting into the mineral line. Getting into ace 9 probe kills at the same time. We do come in across the tank structures. No, they're on their own. Yeah, very nice timing. Very nice timing here by ReBellioN. Tanks, they're completely on their own. They were naked, but yeah. The pants were down. Tanks do fall. HonMonO, he's across the map. He's wreaking havoc. There's not much at home to defend, but we can always recall. As HonMonO sims into the main. Do we have a storm? We do. Oh my god. Storms the ramp. And GG. GG with that. ReBellioN ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. GG all played a very risky play by HonMonO to move out with every Marine. He went for a Doom drop on the south side and went for a Marine run by on the top side as well, which meant he literally left nothing at home to defend his tanks specifically. Like, yes, there were tanks, but there was nothing to buffer, nothing to protect them, and they just went down one after the other very quickly. GG. GG well played with that. We have a tied series up 1-1, and this can end either way. This can go either way here. Who will claim the series will advance on. Looks like our players are asking for a break, which we're more than happy to oblige. Quickly checking the bracket here, we do have some updates. We can go over the matches themselves. From the top, we have Prome versus Patches in a PVT when it goes up against Classic in the quarterfinals. We are covering HonMonO versus ReBellioN as we speak. That is our series that we are covering. Winner of that series goes up into the upper semifinals to face up against the winner of Classic, Prome, and Patches. Scrolling down, we do have Inexorable. Inexorable, he 2-0s Troy Galaxy. Inexorable is up against Percival in the quarterfinals. We have Beyond waiting for the winner of Kama and Perceive. So the bracket is slowly progressing. The top 2 players here of the tournament are Classic and Beyond. They're the top 2 seeds, and we'll see if the other players can stop them from facing off in the finals. Again, Percival, he has some killer TvT. We've seen him bring down Beyond multiple times. We have Perm that can be an animal in PvP, for example, and likewise HonMonO and ReBellioN, they can be very unusual players at times. They can also cause upsets. But of course, like Classic and Beyond are the favorite players. Best of luck to everyone else involved. Best of luck. No hero this week. True. No hero. There's a very high chance that the hero, alongside some of the other top 4 GSL players, are not showcasing their play at the moment. For those who are unaware, this weekend, specifically Sunday, is the GSL Finals. GSL Finals, the semifinals and the grand finals are on Sunday. Hero, Shin, Maru, and Cure are going to be competing in the GSL Finals. So not seeing specifically Cure, Shin, and Hero, as they are regulars when it comes to these online tournaments, not seeing them here makes sense, considering I would imagine they want to hide their play and hide their builds in preparation for tomorrow. Tomorrow, yeah. Tomorrow's GSL Finals. So I'm sure they're getting ready. Hello, 안녕 하세요. Happy 안녕. Exclamation mark rate. True. GGS, definitely with Flapjack. Serious aside now, I'm hungry. I have to wait until after this is done before I can go for lunch. Oh no. I mean, you can listen to it on your phone. True, you can try. No. I mean, thankfully, KSLs don't usually last too long, just because, unlike other tournaments, KSL, the semifinals run at the same time, right? Like, the semifinals, they run concurrently. So because of that, you're able to... It's a little bit more of an expedited process, but here we go. We're jumping into the ace match here, jumping into game 3, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Lockdown. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Among Us people. It is ReBellioN. Hello. As ReBellioN moves out very early on here on the left-hand side, curious what the plan is, whether it's just scouting information or if we plan on going for our own proxy. Eyes are on this probe. Meanwhile, we do have our initial openers here. HonMonO going for his own racks on the high ground, no proxy across the map out of our Terran player, and welcome to Lockdown. Lockdown has a ramp coming into the natural base for both players, of course. We even have the high ground third expansion as well, so very defendable 2 bases, and I would say pretty defendable 3 base setup as well. There is an area here in between the bases that can be abused, that is true, so you can take over control of the low ground here to push into the expansions, but pushing up these ramps is not going to be easy for either player. So we're expecting mid-game play here, but even though that's what I expect, I mean, HonMonO has been very aggressive and very extreme in his play so far. Game 1 went for the 1 base all-in. Game 2 went for more turtle-heavy play, took some risks and chances with his marine aggression, and he paid the price for it. This time, single gas opener, racks expand just like last game, but this time it's on location. So economic opener at a HonMonO, 2 games in a row. I mean, some churros, papi. Yeah, let's go. It's been a while since I've had some, not gonna lie. It's been a while. So we are moving out, settling into our openers. And we have a take of choice, going to be our Twilight Council opener. So Twilight Council out of ReBellioN. Meanwhile, we do have, oh my god, a very aggressive follow-up here, even more so than last time. Remember last game, it was a racks expand into second racks into 2-1-1. This time, racks expand into factory into extra raxes. So earlier last game there was a 5-minute 2-on-1 timing that HonMonO tried and failed to hit. This time this is much more aggressive. This time this actually screams 2-base all in. What's happening here is that we are delaying the starport even further than last time. So big delay in the starport in favor of Stim, Combat Shields, Mass Marine, to the point where we might even push without the starport. There are versions and variations that you just hit when you pull the boys and you could just hit with your Stim timing. Otherwise we could just wait until medevacs arrive and then commit to the push. But this is much more aggressive compared to last time. Last time it was like, oh god. Last game it was a 5-minute timing. This time it's much more committed. Much more committed, much more aggressive, much more all-in. The reactor Hellion is throwing me off a little bit here, though. Usually this is done coinciding with tanks, but here we intentionally have the tech lab on the rack, on the factory. Sorry, the tech lab on the racks. I'm curious if we're going for an add-on swap here or not. We're keeping it on the racks. Okay. Okay. Heli Marine applying pressure. Behind us, okay, there we go. That's what I was waiting for. We have the add-on swap in the tank production. And again, we should be hitting with like 2 or 3 tanks. 2 to 3. Oof. ReBellioN gains map control. ReBellioN hyper safe here before taking a third base. That is a Templar Archives into Storm. Oh my god. A very fast Storm here from ReBellioN. A very safe play as a result of that. And I'll be honest, I have less faith in this move out. Now, of course, Storm, I mean, it can connect, it cannot, right? It's like, it still comes down to control, still comes down to army movement, whether or not Storm does land. So we'll see. It comes down to our players here, both ReBellioN and HonMonO. HonMonO, he scans, he sees Storm. Now, upon seeing early Storm here, we're going to make a choice. Do we commit to an all-in into Storm? No. Third CC. So that is a reaction here from HonMonO. Third CC. It's a very awkward setup here into the third base. There's still no starport, but this is a reaction, I believe, from scouting the Storm. Again, early Storm means that these bio pushes, they don't really work too well at all. If ReBellioN was playing standard, different story, but this is much safer play from ReBellioN. So now we go for the add-on swap. Now we get into our starport. We're switching into the mid game. Oh, hello. I didn't know that that was here. What am I looking at? What is that? That's like incubating queens? Like what am I seeing? Okay. I didn't realize there was some infestation out here. Ah. The Zerg. Where are the moopies? That's the real question. Where are the moopies? So building up a bio army. Charge now on the way. Now, this is where you can make an argument that ReBellioN is in a good position here. Well, his third is late. His third base is late, his saturation is late because of the earlier Storm, and he hasn't really achieved anything with it yet, but he's going for his Prism, so he can go for a Storm drop. You go for some drop play. ReBellioN can harass. Low Sean in the YouTube chats. Hey CranKy. There's this chat, you work yourself to the bone. I love you, but you need to rest. Take a day or two to recover. You must be sore, etc. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. I appreciate it. It's hard to take any days off when it comes to StarCraft just because there's just so much going on. And personally, like I feel like I don't know, it doesn't feel too good like falling behind. Like there's just so much to do. But for sure, I appreciate it. I'll say that maybe coming into June, we'll be able to have some time off. Like May is so difficult because we have GSL and RSL, right? Like this Sunday is GSL. We have RSL during the week as well. So we have RSL, we have GSL, we have Masters of the Game on the horizon. We have Home Story Cup on the horizon as well. It's just a really busy month, very busy month. But I will attempt to have some free time in June. I will attempt that. Yeah, I will attempt. But thank you. I think the last time we had a day off from casting was in January, actually. But that was also a little bit different because there was some issues with our pet bunnies, and we had a bunch of vet visits, so we took some days off in January because of that. But maybe June. Try to have some free time. But yeah, May has been very intense. Very intense. As we're dropping in, we attempt to drop into the mineral line. That is a storm drop. Very expensive drop there from ReBellioN. We gotta calm down. Be careful. Be careful, ReBellioN. So ReBellioN does pivot away. Behind this, we have our Dark Shrine here from ReBellioN as well. We're mixing things up and getting into our 4th base and getting into a longer game stage. So we're building up into the mid game. This time we have a bit of a more back and forth as well. HonMonO, he has a much more complex army, not just Marine Tank, but now he's got Marauders in the mix. He's got his gases, he has his Ghosts as well, working on a 4CC. This is the first time we're seeing a semblance of a standard game out of HonMonO. And he's not looking too bad. Right now it's ReBellioN that's feeling the pressure to try to push in and break through, but I don't think it'll be the wisest choice to push into the minefield. ReBellioN poking in. So he wants the storm. Nice repositioning. Drilling Claws is done. No detection. Nice night. Catching at a Templar. Catching a Templar, ReBellioN pushing forward. Oh. We're still just waiting for EMPs. So what can make or break the fight, of course, are EMPs, whether the storms land, and how ReBellioN engages. Ideally, of course, HonMonO, he wants to fight with the minefield. Ideally, ReBellioN wants to drag him out of range of said minefield. Oh. Catching Medivacs. Does find them. We turned away at the same time. Zelarame running into the main army. Ooh, our Templar going to be going down. Heavy losses here. 2 Templar. Does kill 1 Ghost. Yeah, 1 Ghost, 10 Marauder sent in the storm. Bit of a trade. Now then, rotating over. Does rotate, looking for a better angle. Ooh, my shot goes off. Tank volleys as well. So far, HonMonO, he will not be broken. He's standing strong. Again, he's playing quite well so far. Getting up all the Zealots. The Rumbar's not quite achieving much damage. And ReBellioN has been throwing away quite a bit here. Ideally, I would say the ReBellioN should be a little bit more patient and wait for HonMonO to get a 4th base. The 4th base is now on the way, and this is when HonMonO is now spreading himself thin. Right now he's spread between more locations. He now has a weaker defensive line, as now his Widow Mines are not as clumped up. They're more spread out. Now we're moving in. Yeah, now we're moving in. Catching out 2 mines, going for the CC. Can he get a kill? He can. At the same time, HonMonO gets across the map, and ooh, he kills the Nexus. Yeah, we're trading bases. We're trading bases. ReBellioN will lose 1. HonMonO will lose the other. Of course, this does hurt HonMonO that much more, as ReBellioN has a bank. He has a bank. He has another expansion. He's on 4 bases. The 5th base of ReBellioN didn't really matter as much. As ReBellioN is still maxed. And HonMonO isn't there yet. Action going up. Zealous coming from behind. They focus on the CC. Oh, yeah, a little bit awkward there. It's also going to be cleaned up. They do get 8 SCVs at least. But I would argue some wasted DPS on the command center itself. HonMonO does move in. Moves in, it does hit the mineral line, distracting ReBellioN. At the same time, HonMonO, he breaks out. And this is all just about finding room to expand, to get a fourth base. And HonMonO, he's slowly perfecting his army, right? And yeah, he's fully rolling up. He's got tank lines, he's got widow mines. Ideally, he wants to incorporate some more ghosts and liberators. As he does kill another expansion, ReBellioN out of position. Yeah, he's out of position. HonMonO pulls back. We do have 4 liberators currently, not bad. Here come liberation zones, and you can see here that HonMonO is fully walled up here. He's got his sim cities, he's got his rocks, he's got his towers. I would say there is still a vulnerability here. That bunker that was killed earlier was not replaced, so that's a bit of a concern. Yeah, ReBellioN, he sees an opening. He's going for it. Does move in. The mines. Decent connections. Mine shots going off. HonMonO out of position. Yeah, Nervous is right back to the army. The CC goes down. He's gonna get it. What a last dodge. It survives. Yeah, one more volley at the same time. A DT counterattack. 11 SCV kills. HonMonO is being torn apart. As you mentioned, even though HonMonO, he was pretty well secure here on the south side, on the top side, there was an opening. There was an opening. The pants were down. There was some vulnerabilities there. And ReBellioN to take advantage of that. ReBellioN rotating back around. Getting it to 7 liberators. But they're not here. Again, that siege up here on the top side. MP does land on the Archons. There we go, more liberators have arrived. Oh, that's a massive pickle. Oh my god. How many had Templar? I want to say that, what? Was that just full of Templar? Just right then and there? It doesn't show here. No, the battle report. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's out. It's concerned. The prism goes down. Built up in a mass disruptor. What I was gonna say here is that I don't see an easier way in anymore. I would say that maybe this area is the most open, as there's no sim city. That's the biggest thing missing here in this northern section, is lack of depots, lack of bunkers. It's still very wide open. ReBellion's moving in. He blinks forward. Oh my god. Nice punish. Does punish the blink stalkers. ReBellioN pivoting around. HonMonO, he rotates to the south side. ReBellioN making his way over. Oh, nice snipes. Sniping 2 Templar. EMP lands. And the ideal here for HonMonO is that he should be able to push forward, take over this high ground expansion, and then take over the high ground, right? Take over the high ground, then start laying siege upon the other bases here of ReBellioN. In my mind, that would be the goal, but we'll see if he can break through. Storm's coming in. Never mind. Storm is denied. Fleet beacons on the way. ReBellioN thinking about Sky Toss. He's thinking about it. Oh, yes, another Templar goes down. Nor does it build a tank. These Templar are exposed. He's gonna get another 2 Templar. Can he get 3? Can he get 3? ReBellioN blinks in. We have mass liberation zones here. The freedom. There's too much freedom. Ah. Yeah, ReBellioN, he cannot break through, and with that he will lose the base. He'll lose the expansion. Once again, Marauders, they tank the storm. Oof, denying the warp in. And the base goes down. The base goes down. And this should be the next expansion for HonMonO. This should be his next base. Assuming he can still take over the high grounds. Now he pulls away. And ReBellioN, he has to fight for this. Right? Like, he has to fight for him. Right now, HonMonO, he's on 4 bases, and soon he will need another expansion. You can see he's running out of resources. He's running out of mineral patches. Nothing left in the main or the natural. HonMonO, he soon needs to expand. Meanwhile, ReBellion's slowly taking up into Tempest. At this point, ReBellioN does not have to push in. ReBellioN does not have to push in. We just have to contain HonMonO, get into Tempest, and then be hyper efficient. Oh no, the EMPs. Can't believe me. EMPs connect. Jesus, we have like 5 Liberators here. Oh my god. Zelts get cleaned up, bit of friendly fire, but the SCVs, they survive. They survive. Oh. Scans is the first Liberator, sorry, the first Tempest. How many Vikings do we have? So far 12. 12 Vikings here for HonMonO. We can still do with more. So the way this works here is that ReBellioN should soon be shelling away at the army with his Tempest, right? Tempest, they have insane range. Speaking of, cashing out some Medivacs, picking away at tanks, Liberators, Vikings, whatever he can get his hands on. ReBellioN does have a death blow of an army, and HonMonO does slip out. Does slip out. Takes down the expansion. ReBellioN, he rotates. Once again, he should be targeting said Liberators. Now just chipping away at the wall. Chip away. Tempest barely escapes. Tempest pulls out. HonMonO moving in. Oh, no, pulling back. And again, HonMonO, he's running out of money. He's down to 3 patches here at his 3rd base, and he's down to 1 full mining base here on the right-hand side. So straight up, eventually, HonMonO, he will run out of resources. I say eventually, soon. Liberation shots going up. Liberation what? Tempest shots. Just catching at the Liberator. That was going up as well. I would say, do you get another Liberator? Not bad. Gets 1. Up! Loses Tempest. Barely, not. Oh my god. They just keep surviving. Just barely. If I want to be a little bit critical here, ReBellioN, he's lacking upgrades. The Cybercore is still not making anything here. He has +1 flyer attack or +1 ship weapons. That's what he has. Could do with +2. And even a second Cybercore and double upgrades. As HonMonO breaks out, he takes down bottom right. Bottom right goes down. ReBellioN does main art towards the top left. Vikings are moving in. Oh, Can he snipe? Really not. Vikings, they attempt to dive. Catching at one Tempest. HonMonO is dropping across the map, going for his own triple drop, once again targeting the fresh mining base here for ReBellioN. ReBellioN has not retaken bottom right either, or even center left. There's still a lot of bases to expand to, and ReBellioN should have taken every single one of them. He has 10,000 minerals. He can afford to throw that Nexus everywhere. So that's a little bit concerning. ReBellion's not being as efficient when it comes to taking over the map. Also with his excess minerals, he can throw down shield batteries, cannons to buy time. As here comes the stim, and once again another base goes down, and the mineral line. This is getting a bit out of hand. So the concern that I have here is that if HonMonO can take this base, bottom right is still pretty fresh. We saw a little bit of mining out of ReBellioN, but not too much. The other issue that I have here is that this base up here, also untouched. This base here, also untouched. Again, like 5 minutes ago, they should have been taken by ReBellioN, and he should have been focusing and fixating on those bases to take resources away from HonMonO in the case that he were to expand. But technically, these bases are left alone. Top left was mined a little bit more. That is true for ReBellioN. But the lack of mining, lack of saturation, the lack of those expansions means that technically HonMonO, his economy can keep going. These are resources that are still up for grabs. Still up for grabs. And they shouldn't have been. That's EP. EP's popping up. HonMonO here gets across the map once again, going for another base. Breaking through the cannons, the battery, the Nexus. Looks like another mineral line is going to go down. Does go for the recall. Up. It does recall. HonMonO late to recognize what was going on. Recognize, late to confirm. ReBellioN looks like he's running out of patience. Like he's running out of patience. He just sends it right down mid. Liberators have to reposition. Nova's going up. Oh, they didn't connect. And now we're rushing in. Nice storm of the Vikings. Storm of the Vikings. Ghost. They risk them for a moment, but they EMP everything. He EMP'd. Moving in. HonMonO looking for his own moment to dive. At least his base is denied. That's what matters. As we are floating over. There it is. HonMonO, can he take a base? Can he expand? Again, that massive bank that ReBellioN once had isn't really there anymore. I mean, he still has 6,000 minerals in the bank, 7,000 even, true. But the gas bank is still eerily close. So it's very, very close between the two players. Actually in favor of HonMonO, which is wild. ReBellioN went sword. Breaks in. Never going to connect. So again, HonMonO, he has been the more efficient player as of late. It's a bit more efficient. Once again, rotating. We do see ReBellioN double expanding. We'll see if we can actually get these bases up and running. Oh, nice catch though. Gets 2 libs. Catching out 2 Liberators, 28 SCVs. Let's catch some of the economy. Rotates to the top side. Oh. It's Punish here, losing a Tempest. And the base is getting up. HonMonO is expanding. ReBellioN moving in. Nervous don't quite connect. Vikings, they all take a storm to the base. He takes a storm. Oh my god, the storms! Yeah, they kill. Oh no, he goes back in. Oh my god, the storms are insane. The Vikings, they get very low. Ghosts are pushing forward. Mass EMP. Novas, they connect. Oh, not quite. And Novas, they mainly zone. And Vikings, they clean up all the Colossus. It's close. Looks like they will. Yeah, it looks like they barely will here. 1 Colossus left. Liberation has arrived. No more Tempest. No more air units. And ReBellioN has to get the hell out of here. And again, the banks here, both players, they plummet in supply. There is a massive middle bank here for ReBellioN. He's on only 13 gateways. Oh, only 13. So he's going to have a hard time remaxing. At this stage of the game, with the 10k bank and with what's supposedly every base on the map, like 20 gateways would make more sense. Dude, there's all the expansions. Once again, bullying. ReBellioN has been burning through his bank. Remember, there was a time where he had 10,000 minerals down to 2,000. That's that remax. Mainly Zealot composition. And catching another 2 Zealots. More Zealots going down. ReBellioN, he wants the expansion. Gets a tank. Ooh. Decent over there. Very nice Novas here, catching one of the ghosts as well. ReBellioN with some better moves. Links in, he wants the CC. And he does not get it. Oof. Brutal Nova. Command Center does survive. CC survives, and HonMonO, he has to fight for it, winning it back here. HonMonO, he's down to 8 Liberators, only 9 Vikings. I say 9 Vikings. There's not that much in the air, actually. There's only 3 Tempest. Only 3. Just the 1 Colossus for now. Moving in. I personally would love to see a northern rotation. I would say though, if ReBellioN rotates to the top side to knock down this base, it's a very high chance that ReBellioN just pushes in. Sorry, that HonMonO just pushes in counterattacks. ReBellioN, does find a way in. Catching up the Liberator. Yeah, he just keeps on pushing. And we can even keep going into the natural, but no, it doesn't quite go for it. Doesn't quite commit. Again, looking at the natural, there's nothing here, right? There's one tangle low ground, there's one window mine, there's no high ground setup. Rotates to the center. Takes down the CZ, massive pickup. Catching out the command center. Oof. And Vikings, they dominate the skies, but it may not matter. As ReBellioN does beat out a lot of high-tech units. Flashing on the High Templar. Slaps in, takes out the mineral line, and ReBellioN, he's done it. Whew, he has done it. It took a while. It took a while to chip away at the army, but GG gets called. ReBellioN, he overwhelms. May have lost his Skytals, may have lost his Colossus, but again, his ground army did excel, did overwhelm. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Thank you so much. Shout out to Silly Dobby in the chat. Gab, I got for 16 months for subscribing, watching VODs. A few live views, but here I am. Welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing. We do appreciate it. GG, well played. ReBellioN does claim it. Again, I was a little bit concerned that ReBellioN I would say he didn't do the best job when it comes to mass expanding and taking resources away from the Terran player. That was my big concern because HonMonO was eventually establishing that's based on the top side, on the high ground. But of course, so the ReBellioN eventually started being more aggressive and more assertive. I do think there were opportunities for him to rotate towards the third base or to rotate even into the natural and find more damage and recoil out of there. I do feel like ReBellioN was just a little bit too tentative here in this game, but eventually he did break through. Eventually overwhelmed, eventually tore the army apart. GG, well played. Well, congratulations, ReBellioN will advance on into the next round, and let's catch up on the bracket itself because there's a lot going on, I'm sure.